Hello and welcome to the second part of the show with me, Ian Pelham, on ALB UK Television and positivebritain.co.uk. This is the Voice of London, and now we have the Voice of Business with us this afternoon, Annette White. Good afternoon to you. Thank you for coming yet again. And really, you are an expert in small businesses, but in business in general at the same time. So we were just discussing Rishi Sunak.
Yeah.
He the man who holds the purse strings of the United Kingdom. What do you think? Just a 5-second view on what do you think these new opportunities are? Do they bring any further help to small businesses right now? What do you feel?
I think just listening briefly before I came in, Ian, I think they do. So he has extended some of the loans, some of the business loans, and farming that out to the local regionals, so that the councils.
But don't you think that should have happened already?
Yeah,
Because
100%. Yeah, absolutely, of course. So why he couldn't have just continued that on as previously?
Yes.
I don't know. Why they stopped it to then form another one. Yeah.
And they keep on centralising everything. They've got this control freak system and as we've seen this week, with things like the North of England, Andy Burnham, it's almost like there's so much political control over any expenditure, and I can understand some of it, but right now they're not even listening to councils.
No, not at all. And it's created a divide. It's created a north-south divide, which, is really, really not good to my mind. And like you said, they have tried to centralise it, which clearly hasn't worked. And I think they need to go back to the regionals and it be managed by the regionals, 100%, yeah.
What are you doing right now in the way of actually sort of working with businesses? Because you were just saying to me a lot of businesses, especially tech businesses, are trying to find funding right now. I think you're creating a whole series of opportunities to actually create better communications globally, with small businesses. So tell me, what are you doing at the moment?
Absolutely. It's as I was saying to you before, it's really, really tough environment at the moment, and people are just about, surviving, especially, lots of small businesses that I specifically deal with anyway. And I have many businesses come to me, whether they're either, especially tech businesses looking for funding, they may be looking for some of the loan support. They may be looking for, free educational support for their employees, or they may be looking for, partnerships, collaborations, that sort of thing. But primarily at this moment in time, I've had quite a few small businesses and startup businesses as well looking for funding, and they just don't know where to turn to. So I try and help them, look at what they need. And then we'll perhaps work with them with their local chamber, the Federation of Small Business. I've got quite a few social enterprises in and around my area, and we help them and assist them with a social enterprise. So, to start the business, look at what their needs are, and then put a plan in place to do exactly that.
So your company is called Osprey UK Associates as well. So the reality at the moment is you're also looking to the future, and I think you're looking to create communication systems as well. So tell us a little bit about what's your idea about that.
Communication to me is really important, and that's whether you're an individual brand or whether it's your business brand. And again, I help businesses look at their branding and their messaging from a strategic perspective. And then I help them, put elements in place. So whether it's they want to market themselves online, so we look at how can we get your business exposed on TV, just like I'm doing today with you. How do we raise PR in and around, your personal messaging or your business messaging or your product? I work with the US International Trade, and we're doing a big expo next year and looking for British businesses to again expose their brands and their products out to the US and potentially 65 other countries. So that would be a huge expo, and if people can't participate in person, then we're looking at using an app where they can participate virtually, which is just superb. But it's absolutely key at this moment in time for businesses to keep on sending out those and building those marketing messages, whether it's, online, or whatever, direct mail, or, however you market yourself. It's just important to, throw more money at your marketing. Absolutely.
How important do you think is the American marketplace for small businesses? Is there are there opportunities for SMEs and even startups to actually sell into America, do you think?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Yeah. I've got many small businesses at this moment in time saying to me, Annette, I understand you're doing an expo. How can I get involved? What do we need to do? And as I said, if they can't physically, be there in person and have a stand at the expo, then we're looking at virtually how can they demonstrate and exhibit their products or services, or how can we make those introductions to the necessary individuals from the 65 other countries, to the other participants. And
what type of companies, what type of products do you think are the success products at the moment that you think, yes, I can see that really fitting in globally at the same time? Are there specific areas, IT, AI, for example, are those specific areas, or do you see a much wider opportunity for British business?
I think certainly for me, from what I'm seeing, and some of the companies that I'm dealing with, they have been primarily tech businesses. But that doesn't follow that, I was talking to a guy yesterday, and he sells etiquette services.
Okay.
So believe it or not.
I know something about that.
Absolutely. As one would.
Absolutely. The etiquette of how to look a fool in front of the royal family.
But no, lots of tech businesses at the moment in terms of, how can they market themselves out into the US? Absolutely. Yeah, it's a big market for them if they can win at that sector. Yeah.
And do you think, because obviously the thing that, as I say, I look at politics as well, and that's part of my remit of what I report on. And there has been a scrambling by Number 10, who have been supporting and promoting President Trump for the past few months, suddenly to swap over to Biden now and see him as the saviour of British business. Do you think a change in president is going to help or hinder? What do you think? Is it because when I look at things like Biden, I think Biden is going to support UK, providing we don't break this Irish question, because he has a strong background in the Irish community. As well.
Personally, I think we need the change, but that's my own personal opinion. And I think you're right. He is really strong with British business, and he wants to build that relationship. So it'd be interesting to see, how that turns out. So I'm looking forward to it over the next couple of weeks.
It's going to be an interesting time, and I think, like a few other political commentators, I'm up at 2:00 tomorrow morning to actually watch what thank God, the last of these things, because they wear you down after a little while, especially with Trump continuously talking over the top, so you can't even hear what everyone is saying. Is something worse. So finally today, because it's really just a short interview today with you as well, and thank you so much for coming in. It was very important I think, just to look at, because of what Rishi Sunak has said this lunchtime, it was a good idea for you to come in and talk about business. Where do you see the future at the moment, for British business as well? What are the opportunities? Obviously, one thing is exporting across the world. It's a very hard question to probably ask, but can you see the British economy coming back?
I think we need to fight to try and bring the economy back, and it's that's with all businesses. As I said, certainly for a small business perspective anyway, it is about survival, and I just think we need to be positive and help each other out as well, build the collaborations, build the partnerships, build the training. you know, look for funding or, you know, apply for grants and loans where you can, and just keep that positivity going. We all need to try and work together, and 100% I hope that we will get through this. It's not a question of, you know, we can't, we will. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. We'll
Fantastic. Well, thank you for having a positive message at the end of this. Thank you so much for coming in this afternoon. It's so kind of you.
Thanks.
So that's the last show of this week for me in Pelham Turner on ALB UK Television and positivebritain.co.uk. This is the Voice of London. I think we've had a very interesting, very informative week this week, and I hope all the viewers at home feel that every time they watch one of these shows, they're really gaining something from it as well. So I hope have a great weekend. I will see you again next week. Take care and stay safe. Goodbye for now.